On June 2nd, The Boogeyman creeps into theaters. It's a horror thriller based on the Stephen King short story of the same name. In the film, a high school student and her younger sister are reeling from the recent death of their mother and aren't getting much support from their father, who's a therapist but is dealing with his own pain. When a desperate patient unexpectedly shows up at their home seeking help, he leaves behind a terrifying supernatural entity that preys on families and feeds on the suffering of its victims. According to the IMDb trivia for this film, it was originally set to be released straight to streaming on Hulu, but a strong reception at test screenings led 20th Century Studios to give it a wide theatrical release. This story has been around for a while. It was written in 1973, and I think I read it in Night Shift, which is a compilation of King short stories from years ago. And I don't know if this particular story was part of this arrangement or how this movie got made, but I believe Stephen King still has this. He calls it the dollar baby or the dollar deal. It's an arrangement which grants permission to students or aspiring filmmakers or theater producers to adapt one of his short stories for $1. And this has led to some great movies like The Shawshank Redemption. So hopefully this short story will make a great movie as well. On June 16th, star Chris Hemsworth and director Sam Hargrove will reunite for Extraction 2. After barely surviving his grievous wounds from his previous mission in Bangladesh, Tyler Rake is back, and his team is ready to take on their next mission. Tasked with extracting a family who is at the mercy of a Georgian gangster, Tyler infiltrates one of the world's deadliest prisons in order to save them. The first Extraction came out in 2020. We reviewed it here on the show. It's a solid action film. Sam Hargrove, who returns to direct here, really knows his action. He started out as a stunt performer and a second unit director, and I was feeling back then that this was going to be an action franchise for Netflix, and here we are getting a sequel. Shifting briefly now to streaming television, The Crowded Room, a new limited series starring Tom Holland and Amanda Seyfried, premieres on Apple TV Plus on June 9th. Taking place during the summer of 1979 in New York City, a young man is arrested for a shocking crime, and an investigator must solve the mystery before the true criminal strikes again. Apple TV Plus has been, let's say, hit or miss with their shows. This is a limited series. It looks interesting. Ted Lasso, of course, he had a big hit with that, and some critically acclaimed stuff like Severance, which is really good. So I'm interested to see what they can do with this. Then in August, Steve Martin, Martin Short, and Selena Gomez will return for another season of Only Murders in the Building, marking the third season of the show. Joining the cast will be Paul Rudd and Meryl Streep. Now, this show has been a big hit for Hulu. It features some amazing talent. You've got people like Nathan Lane and Tina Fey, who will be back this season reprising her role. And then last year we got appearances from Amy Schumer and Shirley MacLaine. It's a real great New York show, and that's one of the reasons why I love it. It pokes fun at podcasting. It pokes fun at the murder mystery genre. It's a lot of fun. If you want to catch up on the first two seasons, they're streaming right now on Hulu. All right, speaking of murder, inspired by the book Halloween Party by Agatha Christie, A Haunting in Venice will be released in theaters on September 15th. This is the third film in Kenneth Branagh's Agatha Christie saga. Branagh returns to direct and star as Hercule Poirot once again. According to IMDb, the film is set in post-World War II Venice, and Poirot, now retired and living in exile, reluctantly attends a seance. When one of the guests is murdered, it is up to the former detective to once again uncover the killer. Now, we reviewed the first two films, Murder on the Orient Express and Death on the Nile, and I really like them both. I like Branagh in this role. I like him as director. I think he really gets melodrama. This latest edition of the franchise, Branagh once again surrounds himself with a really strong cast, including Kelly Reilly, Michelle Yeoh, Jamie Dornan, and Tina Fey. Kelly Reilly is no stranger to this type of material. She played Mary Watson in the Robert Downey Jr. Sherlock Holmes movies. All right, so that's a brief look at some upcoming movies. We'll have more movie releases coming up soon. There's a ton of movies coming out this fall that we're going to talk about, so definitely tune in for that.